Everybody, welcome to World Vegetarian Day on this beautiful Sunday. Yay! All right. Well, first of all, I'm Chef Lisa Brooks-Williams, and I'm so excited that you were willing to get up this early on a Sunday. I mean, shouldn't we be glad about that? And before we get started, you know, Erica is wearing a very special apron. And Erica, why are you wearing that apron?
Because you won Vegan Iron Chef this year.
That's right. And so, yes, thank you. But I wouldn't have won Vegan Iron Chef without my wonderful sous chef, Erica Ikimoto. So let's thank her. And I'm also glad to have my friend Linda here helping me from Livermore. So thank you so much, Linda. That's right. So my title of my class today is Recipes for Health, Wellness, and Longevity. Now, who wants to live longer? Right? So if you're happy in your life, you want to extend your life, right? And so the first recipe that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to pass around my list. So I just gave everybody one recipe, but by signing my list, you'll get all the recipes, and you'll also get a list of these wonderful superfood immunity and longevity boosters that I'm going to share with you. So the first recipe is called my Jing Tea Superfood Elixir. Now, how many of you know that you have a Jing? Or how many of you have never heard of a Jing? Never heard of a Jing? Okay. You've all heard of qi, right? Okay, so the Jing, the qi, and the shen all go together. And the great thing about the Jing is the Chinese word for essence. All right? So if you think of a light, a candle, you know, and the illumination. So what comes out of the flame is the illumination, and that's what makes up our Jing. And we all want to shine brightly because we're eating a plant-based, humane diet. So we want for people to see that love and that compassion and that joy and that health on our face. And one of the things about the Jing is that the Chinese believe that it's centered in the kidney, and that you're born with a certain amount of it, and that it helps with your health and your well-being and your immunity. And so I created this elixir to help with our kidney. So if our Jing is in our kidney, and our Jing is responsible for my essence, and I want people to know about the joy of plant-based foods, I want my kidney to be in pretty good shape. And I want to feel as good as I possibly can. So let me tell you a few ingredients that I put in the Jing Tea Elixir. So the first thing is we're going to start with two different teas. So I'm using dandelion tea, which is a wonderful detoxer for the body, and it also helps to burn and metabolize fat as it passes through the body. And then the longevity tea, which is geostemma, and the Chinese call that their longevity and anti-aging and or immortality herb. And so that was what inspired me to be able to do this. So go ahead and put three of these in here. And then we're also going to add some wonderful superfoods. And so I'll explain a little bit about the benefits of each superfood as I add them to our wonderful tea. So the first one that we're going to put into our elixir is hemp. And do we all know why hemp is good for us? No? Well, hemp is full of omega-3, and omega-3 is good for our brain. And I know that everybody here has a brain, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with some hemp seeds. It's a wonderful source of protein. The next thing that we're going to put in is a little bit of ginseng. And ginseng is good for our immune system. It's also good for our concentration and our heart. And this is a little bit, thank you, this is a little bit of Panax ginseng, and this is an old ancient root. This is not ginger, this is ginseng. And so we're going to put a little bit of that in there to help with that. And also, I need a little trash can. Can we get a little trash can over here? Great. Okay, that's great. We're also going to put in some cat's claw. And one of the great things about cat's claw is that this is very good for inflammation, in particular arthritis, and also any stomach issues. So if you have like issues with your stomach, ulcers, inflammation, cat's claw is really wonderful for that. The next thing that we're going to put in, and I don't want you folks to be scared. So all of you trust me that I know what I'm doing, right? Do you all trust me? Okay. So I'm very much in favor of the mushroom. Mushrooms are excellent for the body. Do you all agree? Okay, and one of the great things about mushrooms is that they are fabulous for the immune system. And we want to support our immune system as much as possible. So I'm going to put in some chaga, which is a great antioxidant. It's good for the spleen, the heart, and the lungs. And it's also an adaptogen. And do you all understand when I say an adaptogen, what I mean by that? Do you want me to explain it? So an adaptogen basically is an alkyl activator. It increases the body's resistance to stress, trauma, anxiety, and fatigue. So it helps support our immune system as well. And the next mushroom that we're going to put in is a little bit of cordyceps. And the cordyceps is also super excellent for the immune system and another adaptogen. So we're going to put some of that in there. So I will send you, once you sign my list, I'll send you the list of all of these ingredients and their benefits. And we're also going to put in a little bit of the reishi mushroom. And this is an incredible superfood. And so we're going to put a little bit of that in there because we want to support our immune system. We want to be as healthy as possible to share the veg message, right? So the next ingredient that I'm going to put in is eucommia. And this is a great bark. It helps to support the liver and the kidneys, and it strengthens the sinews and the bones. So we want to make sure that our cartilage and all of that is supported as well. Next, I'm going to put in some shilajit. Have any of you ever heard of shilajit? This isn't, okay. Shilajit is an Ayurvedic medicine. It's an ancient tar that's rich in minerals. And it's also full of fulvic acid, which helps to detox and transport the minerals that we need through our body. Next thing is moringa. Moringa is a fabulous tree. It's one of the most important trees that is out there, and I love trees. And the greatest thing, it's the highest concentration of vitamins and minerals, and super, super high in vitamin C. So we're going to put a little bit of that in there. Now, don't be scared. I really do know what I'm doing. I really do know what... And so we're going to add a little bit of fat. So we have the hemp seeds in here. So we're going to add a little bit of coconut oil. And this is going to help this to be creamy and help us to also better absorb all of the nutrients that we're putting in here, all of these wonderful herbs. So put in some coconut oil. And also to better help us with the transportation of all of these herbs, I'm going to put in a little bit of raw cacao. And the raw cacao that I'm using is low glycemic, and so stirs the soul, is sweetened with dates. A lot of the chocolate that's out there has sugar, and sugar suppresses the immune system. So you don't want to be eating a lot of sugar, especially if you have any issues going on with your immune system. So stirs the soul. Lulu's is another great low glycemic chocolate. And also a great company is Gnosis. Gnosis is another wonderful chocolate company. And I will send you all that information. I'll try to open this here. Somebody open that for me. You open that for me. Okay. And so we're going to put a little bit of that in there. And actually, I'm going to put an extra big piece in for all of you. Okay. And I'm going to be giving away some raw chocolate later, so.
How does it help transport, you said?
How does it help transport? Well, raw chocolate is full of theobromine and polyphenols. So the theobromine helps us to feel good, and the polyphenols are full of the antioxidants. So in order to absorb all of the vitamins and minerals that are in all these superfood herbs, you need a transporter. So the transporter comes from the raw cacao. So when you have a little bit of raw cacao, it's great if you have some superfoods with it, such as goji berries or some spirulina or blue-green algae, because it's a great transport to help us to get those nutrients that we need in our body. Now, you might be thinking, Lisa, this is going to taste really bitter. Well, don't worry. I'm going to put a few dates in there. And the dates are going to help with a little bit of natural sweetness. But if you are opposed to dates, one of the things you can also use is another excellent low glycemic sweetener known as stevia. Now, I've had some people in my classes say, I hate stevia, but stevia is really not that bad. And one of the great things about stevia is you can get it flavored. So here's a little bit of vanilla cream stevia. Okay, and then I also have a little bit of English toffee flavored stevia. And Sweet Leaf is a wonderful brand. Okay, I'm counting this because we definitely don't want to over-steviate. Have any of you ever had too much stevia and then you were like, oh my God, this is horrific, I can't stand it. So there's one more ingredient that I wanted to add to our wonderful elixir, and it is called Mucuna pruriens, or also another name for it is capakichu. And this is fabulous. You know what the number one prescription medication for women is on the market? It's antidepressants. Okay? And this is a natural herb that helps your mood. It's a natural nervine tonic that helps to balance your mood. And that's why I really love it. And it also enhances your mental alertness and your concentration. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in there. Now, hopefully nobody's feeling scared. Nobody's scared, right? And the last thing that I'm going to put in is a little bit of dandy blend. And I mentioned the benefits of dandelion. So dandy blend, you can buy this in the store. And so many people that I meet, they are addicted to coffee. Coffee is very toxic for the body. It's a diuretic, and it's an artificial stimulant. And I have so many people say, I need coffee in order to go to the bathroom. I need coffee in order to wake up. I'm in a bad mood because I haven't had my coffee. Well, coffee is addictive. And one of the things I found in my weight loss journey, I've lost over 100 pounds so far, I've regained my health and gotten off of all of my medications, is that being off of caffeine has helped me immensely with my health. And one alternative is the dandy blend. And it's also sweetened with a little bit of natural chicory. And so the chicory adds a little bit of natural sweetness to it, and also a little bit of extra fiber. Tell them they can start pouring the drink, okay? And so we're just going to blend this up. Okay.
Now, Lisa, are we supposed to make this ourselves with all those ingredients?
Yeah. If you want to. You know, this is an elixir. This is to get you going in the morning. And so, just let me finish blending this really quick. Okay. Okay. I said, Erica, I want a little tasting cup. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yes, Judy.
All these things, how do you know how the flavor's supposed to be?
Because I created it. I created it and I worked out the flavor balancing. Yeah, I worked out the flavor balancing with this. Thank you. Yes?
How long will it last if you don't want to be blending all those things up every day?
So what you can do is you can mix all the powders together, and I drink 3 cups in the morning. And I drink this a half an hour before I have my meal or before I have a smoothie. This is great. This is great. And you guys will like this. You could also, if you wanted to, what do you think, Erica? Pretty good. Yeah. Pretty different. It's a little different. She's thinking.
No, it's more on the bitter side, but
It's a little,
not into bitters, but it's like
right.
sweet, so it's okay.
Well, one of the reasons this is a little bit bitter, but I really want to get across the point that bitter is better, and bitter is good for the liver. And anybody who's involved in Chinese medicine can verify that bitter foods, bitter melon, the greens, the zest of lemons is good for the body and with detoxing the liver. The bitter part of the tongue is not very well developed in a lot of people. So this may be a little bit bitter, but just realize this is doing good stuff for you. The only thing I could do differently is add more dates or add more stevia, and then the stevia, you get the stevia taste. But, so this is a good way for them to be able to get the benefits. Okay, I need my blender. Matt, I need you to wash my blender out. Okay, thanks. And did you shake that up? Did you shake it up before you? Okay. All right. So the next thing I'll take one question and then I'll do the next thing. Okay. Yes. I drink 3 cups in the morning. And also I have a lot of recipes that have helped me in my weight loss and my health restoration journey in this little booklet. I put together a little booklet. It's only $10. You're getting over 20 recipes in here. And so there are a bunch of great recipes, including the Jing tea elixir recipe. And it's only $10, and you can get that from me after the class. Now, another thing that has helped me a lot in my journey to health and wellness are blended foods. Now, how many of you are a fan of blended foods? Okay. Hi, Yoshi. Hi. And so the reason why blended foods are so good for the body, when I was working at the VA, I noticed that a lot of the veterans didn't have, hi, Liz. All right. I see so many people. I love veg people. I love it. I met so many of the veterans that had poor dental health. And so thank you, I need the lid. So they had poor dental health, so they had minimal teeth or they had no teeth. So they were getting a lot of their food blended. So they would blend like a hamburger and mashed potatoes, and that would be the meal for them. And so in some of my classes and sessions that I was doing with them, we started developing some healthy blended foods. And this is good for people that have teeth issues, also people with a condition known as dysphagia, where they may have some swallowing issues. But the best thing about blended foods is that it's good for the body because we start absorbing our nutrients in our small intestine. So digestion starts in the mouth, with the salivary amylase, and we all know where it ends. So if you can bypass all that chewing process, you can get the nutrients into your stomach and small intestines and into your bloodstream quicker than if you chewed and chewed and chewed a pound of salad. Because Dr. Joel Fuhrman recommends that you have a pound of raw vegetables a day and a pound of cooked vegetables today. And if you don't have good teeth or you have a weak digestive system, blended foods can help you to get the nutrients that you want. You don't have to eat ice cream all the time, right? Right? That's right. Okay. And so Linda's going to pass that out. So can you get me little cups of all the diced stuff? Mm-hmm. Little cups of it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do to make our zucchini soup is we're going to start with some tomatoes. And I love tomatoes. They're full of vitamin C and lycopene, which is great for our heart. And so I've got these beautiful little heirloom tomatoes, and that is what we're going to put in our soup first. And with blended foods, you want to put your wet ingredients in the blender first. And so, so I'm going to put in a cup of pure water. Put in a cup of pure water here. Thank you. It wasn't too bitter for you, right? Now look, this beautiful woman said it wasn't too bitter for her. So so hopefully it won't be too bitter for everybody. Okay. But I just do want to let you folks know, so you're not expecting a chocolate milkshake. This is an herbal tonic elixir. So we're putting in our beautiful heirloom tomatoes, and you all know that you should buy your tomatoes organic, right? Because of the dirty dozen. All right? Because they're taking tomato genes and splicing it with Icelandic fish in order to make freeze-resistant tomatoes. Tomatoes, I know, that's gross. So they're one of the most genetically modified foods. So we want to get our tomatoes organic. And I have people say to me, Lisa, it's so expensive to buy organic. And I say, well, for years I spent so much money putting crap in my body, getting up to over close to 300 pounds, that now I deserve to buy organic food. I'm worth the extra 60 cents a pound for organic. And I want you all to believe that you are worth it too. Thank you. You can just put those anywhere. And then I just need a little bowl too, a paper bowl. Okay. Now, the next ingredient that's going into our zucchini soup is, of course, the beloved zucchini. The great thing about the zucchini is that it's full of B vitamins and niacin. B vitamins are good for our nervous system, and it's also great for our brain. So I'm just putting this beautiful organic zucchini in there. Oh my gosh, it's just great. The next thing I'm putting in is a beautiful scallion. Now, you all know about the benefits of onions, or do you want me to just tell you really quick? Yeah. All right, so all of you need to get your onion on. You should be eating onions every single day. The reason for this is that onions contain sulfonides. Sulfonides help to inhibit angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is the proliferation of cells, also known as metastasis or cancer. Onions inhibit metastasis. So everybody should be eating onions every single day. And all of this that I'm sharing with you is evidence-based, peer-reviewed journal information. I'm not just taking it out of my head. This is all valid information.
Both the white and the green part?
Yes, right, because this is going to be a blended soup. It's going to be a blended soup. Next thing we're putting in is a beautiful bell pepper. And the bell pepper is full of vitamin C, and so we want to get that bell pepper in there. Erica is going to squeeze in 2 lemons. You want to show them how to get the most juice out of their lemon? That's right. You roll it. So you slam it on the board and then you roll. And so we're going to put in lemon juice so we have a little bit of acid in our soup. The next ingredient that we're going to put in is some beautiful basil. And then we're also going to put in some spinach. But before we do that, I want to blend all the wet ingredients together. And I'm going to also put in some garlic. Let me get the garlic. Hi, could you bring me the garlic? The garlic is over there. Yeah. So I suggested 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. Garlic is a wonderful anti-inflammatory. So with regards to garlic, you can up the garlic or you can put less garlic in. Thank you. And so, is there anybody here that doesn't like garlic? No? Everybody likes it? Okay. I hear people say, well, I can't eat garlic because it gives me indigestion. Or I can't eat vegetables because they give me indigestion. And one of the things that I want to share is that when you're eating cruciferous vegetables, which are essential, we all heard Dr. Greger talk yesterday, right? They're essential for cancer prevention. Cruciferous vegetables are doing their job. They're nature's roto-rooter. So if you're used to eating a lot of processed food and junk food, you might be feeling a little bit of a like that. And that's because it's doing its job. And that's what the job of cruciferous vegetables and all vegetables are. They're supposed to help to keep us clean. And remember, we've got 9 meters of digestive tract. So we want to eat lots of vegetables and not just prunes. Remember? Remember he was talking about the prunes. Okay, so here's raw what? Well, I like it. I like having them raw. This is a raw soup, but you can also have your cruciferous vegetables steamed. It's up to you how you want to do it. So we're going to put in a little bit of salt. And I don't like to have a lot of salt in my food, so some people like more salt. I prefer less salt. We're going to put in a little bit of parsley. So this is some dried parsley. You put about a tablespoon in there. And then Erica, you cut that up for me, please. Okay. Put about a tablespoon of dried parsley. And if you have fresh parsley, that's fine. I just created this recipe with the dried parsley. And we're also going to put in some oregano. Because this is an Italian seasoned soup. So, and also I don't know if any of you were able to read my bio, but I started the plant-based diet program at Kaiser and have been teaching there since last year. And I'm very grateful for that. And the students, more and more people are wanting to get vegucated. And so I really applaud Kaiser for being one of the healthcare systems to embrace the benefits of the plant-based diet. And you can look online in the Kaiser Journal, and you can see where they're recommending the plant-based diet to alleviate lots of diseases. And if any of you are Kaiser members, right now I'm teaching in Redwood City, and I'm also teaching the employees in Daly City and South City, and we'll be teaching patients soon there. Okay. You can just cut it in chunks. We're going to put it in a minute. So I put in a little bit of cayenne to add some flavor, and I'm also going to put in a little bit of black pepper to add a little bit of flavor for our soup. And now we're ready to get blended. Okay. And then you want to take about two or three sprigs. You want to take the leaves off, okay? Okay. All right. Look at that. Beautiful. So our soup isn't finished because, of course, we need to have our greens, right? So the greens that are going to be the star of this soup are spinach, and we all want to eat high on the ANDI scale. And ANDI is the Aggregated Nutrient Density Index. So everybody remember that, ANDI. So something like kale, which I'm going to make in a salad for you next, is 100 on the ANDI score. A Coke is a -2. So we want to eat, right? So we want to eat high. We want to eat high on the ANDI scale. So spinach is right below kale, and it's like about a 99. So our leafy greens are 100, and then we all want our beautiful green vegetables. So we're going to use like a whole bag of spinach in this soup. Now, you might be saying, Lisa, that's way too much spinach. When I make spinach for myself, I just take a handful and I eat it. Well, this is blended food. This is blended food, baby, so you can get it down. You can get it down. And so I have people say to me, well, what about serving sizes? You know, what about how many people does this feed? Well, it depends how hungry you are, right? You know, sometimes it's good for one serving, and sometimes it's good for two, and sometimes it's good for three. It just depends on your appetite. All right.
Serving for you, this whole thing?
Well, this is more like, this is probably more like 2 or 3 servings. But it depends. I don't know. I mean, somebody could be really hungry. We'll see. All right? So we're going to get our our spinach going. And the next green that we're going to put in is a beautiful herb, the beautiful basil. We're going to put in some beautiful basil. And the great thing about herbs is herbs help to complement all of our greens. Herbs help to complement all of our greens. And the great thing about greens is that they're full of chlorophyll. Now, why do you think chlorophyll is so great?
Cleans your blood.
It cleans your blood. You are smart. She is so smart. Chlorophyll cleans our blood. That's right. And scientists have found that the same DNA that is in chlorophyll is also found in human blood. So don't you want to have something that's in the plants in our blood too to help our blood? So we need lots of chlorophyll. We need lots of greens. So this soup is, because it's an Italian soup, is going to be flavored with the beautiful basil. So we'll go ahead and put that in there, please. And what I'm doing is, this is a sprig. By the way, some people don't understand what it means for a sprig. This is considered a sprig. So, okay. Because I taught a class at Kaiser, and a lady didn't know what a date was. So I don't want to take anything for granted. So, yeah. She had never had a date. So, okay. I mean, edible date. That's what an edible date, right? Okay. So we're blending up our greens first. Okay. Because we want to get them small enough so that they're easily assimilated. Okay. And then we'll put the avocado in there. Okay. And soup wouldn't be soup without one of the best sources of vitamin E on the planet, the beautiful avocado. Okay, so we got our avocado in here, and not only is it full of vitamin E and healthy fat and fiber, it's going to make our soup nice and creamy. And I have people in my classes say, I can't eat an avocado has fat in it. But the truth of the matter is that it also has fiber. So because there's so much fiber in the fruit of the avocado, you don't absorb all the fat. So don't fear the avocado. Fear the cheeseburger. Fear the steak. Fear those kind of things full of fat. Okay. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay. And Linda. We want to make sure it has the little baby spoons in it too, for the soup. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. This just smells like heaven, everybody. Now, some people might find it disconcerting when they see the greenness of it. And I think green is good. Why don't you all say that with me? Green is good. Green is good. That's right. Green is good. And see, look how green that is. Oh my gosh. And, you know, to get your kids to drink it, you can say this is Kermit the Frog soup or something like that, or this is Incredible Hulk soup or something. And so, that's great. And I don't like a lot of salt. So you folks, when you taste the soup, if you want more salt, add more salt at home. I found for myself in my health and weight loss journey that I was consuming way too much salt. And you can change your taste buds in 30 days by getting rid of the sugar and reducing the salt. So we're going to be serving you up some soup samples in just a moment, but I wanted to show you how you can adorn your soup. So I'll just make a little one here, and you can give that to them in the back, Eric. You can give that to them. And I like to add some nice, and wash this off for me too. Thank you. And I like to add some nice little accoutrements to my soup when I'm eating it. So I like putting a little bit of minced zucchini on top. Can you all see this? Yeah. All right. So we put a little bit of minced zucchini. Then I'm going to put a little bit of minced yellow bell pepper because I love those cruciferous. Love those bell peppers. And there's more vitamin C in a bell pepper than there is in an orange, everybody. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We're also going to put on a little bit of heirloom tomato on top, too. Put a little bit of heirloom tomato. And a little bit of our cancer-fighting scallion on top. And then you've got this beautiful soup. A little bit of scallion. Yep, a little bit of scallion. And so now you've got this beautiful health-promoting soup. So you don't need to put the accoutrements on top. You can make it more of a soup, or you can make this into more of like a stew, you know, if you want. And so, does anybody want this big one? I mean, do you want this big one? Okay. All right. Okay, sure.
Oh, well, I'll take it there with you.
Okay. Wanted to take a picture.
All right.
Okay. So who was the one that raised their hand first? You? Okay. we got to get you a spoon. Like we'll give her. Could you give her a spoon, Linda, right behind you? It's just a little. I think we have a bigger spoon too. All right. Okay. Here, Liz, you can use this one. You can use this spoon. Okay.
That's for Roger's mouth.
Okay, that's right. Okay. So we're going to be handing out the soup samples in just a moment. But so what did you all think about the elixir? It was okay? It wasn't too bitter? Okay. All right. And so you should all feel really alert. Is anybody sleeping in here, Erica? Is anybody? I don't know. If anybody's sleeping, they didn't have the Jing elixir. I can know that. I know that for sure. Okay. And before I make the next dish, because I have a half an hour, and I'm going to use every minute of it to entertain you guys. Well, educate you guys. I shouldn't say entertain. So what do you think, Liz and Roger? Okay, and this is...
You're hired.
Oh, thank you. And, you know, Liz... That's right. And Liz has been raw foodist for over 15 years, right? Yeah. And so... yes, and we're also going to be having a potluck on Halloween at Liz's house in Alameda, and I'm going to be volunteering to prepare the food there. So check out the SFES website.
10 kitchen angels.
And yes, ones that are willing to work and not be on their phone all the time. Okay, so, all right. So is there anybody who came the furthest to be here today, distance-wise? Yeah.
New Zealand, right here. New Zealand.
Sacramento, no, Roger doesn't count. Okay, Sacramento, and yeah? Stockton. Bob, which is further, Stockton or Sacramento? Sacramento, okay. Anybody back there? What about that lady in the purple? Ukiah? Hollister, okay, Hollister. Well, Ukiah's pretty far too. But they're saying Hollister is further? Hollister? Okay, Ukiah? What do you say, Ukiah's further? All right, Ukiah, come up and get some presents. Here, we'll give to Ukiah, or yes, no, we'll give to Ukiah. Here you go. Thank you for coming. Okay. And then the Hollister was the second furthest, right? The Hollister? So, all right, Hollister, we'll give you some. All right, we'll give also something to Hollister. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And all of you should also have gotten one of my crackers. And that cracker recipe is also in my book, only $10. I mean, $10 for 20 recipes. You know, what more could you want? And these crackers that I make are seasoned with a Palestinian spice mix known as za'atar. And that is made with thyme and sumac and some sesame. And the crackers have a little bit of a bitter flavor. But remember, bitter is better. Bitter is better. And so that recipe is also in my little booklet. And I'd much rather eat one of these crackers than eat a Ritz or a Triscuit full of hydrogenated oil, right? Okay. So the last thing that I'm going to share with all of you, and I want to make sure that my list is making its way around because you all want this information, right? You want to know about the Jing herbs. You want to know these recipes. So please sign the list. So the next thing that we're going to make is a beautiful, wonderful kale salad. But this is just not an ordinary kale salad. This is a special kale currant salad, and with citrus as the dressing. Now, a lot of people out there are making kale salads, pouring tons of oil on it, you know, adding tons of salt, and you don't need that. The vegetables are delicious in and of themselves. But what we need to do is we need to tenderize the kale. And in order to tenderize the kale, we need to make a dressing. So the dressing that we're going to have, Erica's going to zest this for me. Look at this orange. Look how big it is. Didn't it make you say, oh, I can't wait to eat this? I mean, it's so exciting. So Erica is going to zest the orange. And the outside zest of the orange is bitter. Have any of you just eaten some zest before? And so we want the outside zest, but you don't want the white pith. So we want to get a little bit of the zest, and this is an organic orange. If you're using the zest of the orange, you do not want to be using a conventional orange. You want to be using an organic orange whenever you're using the skin. So whenever you're eating apples, you eat the skin, you want to have organic apples. Whenever you're zesting a lemon or an orange, you want it to be organic. And one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that when you're shopping in the store, if it starts with a 9, you know the little code, the PLU code? If it starts with a 9, that means it's organic. If it starts with a 4, that means it's conventional, grown in the USA. And you want, if you can't afford the organic, you want to definitely afford the conventional in the USA, because if you don't get, yep, please. Because if it starts with a 3 or another number, that means it's been grown in another country where they still allow DDT, right? DDT and other pesticides that have been outlawed here for a long time. Yes?
If a piece of produce with a little label which starts with a 3, in this country it also stands for a possibly genetically modified.
That's right, possibly genetically modified too. Yes. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so conventional, a lot of conventional is genetically modified.
That 8 is GMO, but you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone admitting that and putting it on the list.
Exactly. So if you have a 9 or a 4, you're in better shape than going with a 3 or another number. That's right.
Can you do those colors too?
Yeah. Okay. And because the zest is going to help to tenderize our salad. Yeah. Well, it's going to add flavor. I need my blender. Okay. Thank you. And I need the lid for it. Oh, I got the lid? Okay. All right. So we're going to make a beautiful dressing for our salad. And you can go ahead and put the zest on this one. And
The rest of that tail too?
what?
Do you want me to do the rest of that tail?
Well, I'm going to show them in a second. And so for our dressing, we're going to use the beautiful orange, and we're going to use the whole fruit of the orange. Because so many people, they only want to use the juice. Well, if you only use the juice, what are you neglecting, everybody? You're neglecting the fiber, so it's going to be higher glycemic, right? And so why not just get the benefit of the fiber and make it lower glycemic by enjoying the beautiful fruit? Okay? If it's organic and it has seeds, I just go ahead and blend it up.
The most unknown whole fruit that people don't know about, that they don't use, is the whole banana.
Oh.
Those little ends.
Yeah.
You get a nice fair trade one. It doesn't have the sweetness. It has only fiber and nutrients.
Okay.
And it has no taste.
Oh, okay.
The banana skin?
The banana skin.
Okay.
You need a good fair trade organic.
Now, did everybody get the soup and the cracker? Or no? Do they have more coming out? More soups? Okay. The staff tells me they have more soups coming out. Okay. So while Erica is finishing up, oh, okay. Wait 1 second, everybody. So while Erica is finishing up that additional orange, I just wanted to show you the star of the show. So this is the kale. This is black or lacinato kale. This is curly kale. And either type of kale will work. Remember, it's the highest on the Andy scale. And Dr. Joel Fuhrman says kale is the new beef. So I like that. So in order to take the kale off of the stem, you hold it in your dominant hand. And then with your non-dominant hand, you just kind of strip it. And you can use the stems for soup or for juice, but not in this salad because we want to tenderize the kale. So remember, we're just stripping it off. And then I want to show you how to cut it chiffonade. So I'm going to use this knife. Use this one real quick. Okay, go ahead and stick it in the blender. And so in order to do it chiffonade, you're going to put it with the vein side up. And then you take like the little legs of the kale and you kind of put it on the middle. And then we just kind of roll it like a little cigar, okay? And then we're going to just go ahead and cut it chiffonade, which means like in little ribbons. Okay. See? Look at that. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. So we're just cutting up this kale. And remember, with your non-dominant hand, you're moving it back as you cut because you want to keep your fingers, right? So the best knives that I recommend are Cutco, and you're worth a good knife. You're definitely worth a good knife. If you don't use Cutco, then you can go ahead and use Henkel's is another great brand, and Wusthof and Anilon. So you want to make sure that you have a good knife. It's very important. So we're going to put our kale in here, and I'm going to show you how to make the dressing for our delicious kale salad. So in order to tenderize our kale, you need to have 3 things. You need to have an acid. So our acid is coming from the orange. Or, you know, if you wanted lemon, you could do lemon, but the orange tastes so much better in this recipe. The next thing that you need is you need a caustic agent. And so the caustic agent that we're going to use is a little bit of Himalayan salt. So we don't need to have a lot. We're just going to put our Himalayan salt in there. And the next thing that we need is we need a little bit of a fat in order to tenderize our kale. And we're going to put a little bit of extra virgin cold pressed olive oil. And you don't need to have a lot. I'm making a double batch, so I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons in there. And I keep my oil in the refrigerator. Folks, don't keep it on the shelf. Don't put it under the sink. I recommend that you buy it in a dark jar and you keep it in the refrigerator and then take it out a half an hour before you want to use it. All right, now we're ready to make our dressing. Yeah, dressing. Okay, are you ready to massage? Need another. Okay. Oh, and there's one more ingredient that I didn't put in yet, and that's some allspice. And one of the things is that allspice goes really excellent with citrus. So I'm going to put a little bit of allspice in there as well. And you folks, if you sign my list, you will get the information, or better yet, you can buy my booklet for $10. Did I say that before? Okay. All right. So we'll just blend that up with the allspice. And I like the flavor of allspice with citrus. Okay, so now we've got a beautiful dressing for our kale salad, and Erica is going to massage it. And while you're massaging it, Erica, I'm going to talk to him, okay? So I was making this kale salad at my one of my Kaiser classes. Thank you. One of my Kaiser classes, and there was a very elderly woman who was in the class, and she was sitting in the front row, and she's a little bit ornery, and I was showing how to tenderize your kale, and she said, "That's disgusting." That is so disgusting. And she goes, "Why don't you just stir it with a fork?" And it doesn't work that way, folks. What we're trying to do is we're trying to tenderize the kale. The kale is very, there's a lot of cellulose in the kale, and in order to tenderize it, you need to massage it this way. Now, you could cook it, but what happens when you cook the kale? What happens to your nutrients? They go, right, the nutrients go. So this way we're keeping all the nutrients and we're keeping it nice and tender. And so what happens is, this was a pretty full bowl, but she's massaging it down and it's becoming a lot smaller. So keep on massaging. And also, Erica you can't see this, but Erica's putting her love into it, right? That's right, lots of love is going in there, right, Erica? So in order to take our kale salad over the top, I'm going to put in some currants. And currants are full of zinc. Zinc is also great if any of you have problems with acne. Zinc is great for that. It's also excellent for men's prostate health. And so men, if you want to keep your prostate, eat lots of currants. Okay? And so we're going to put that in there. Put those currants in. Well, the currants are smaller. If you use raisins, you need to soak them first. So it's just easier because the currants are small. Another thing that will help you men to keep your prostate is pine nuts. And pine nuts are full of boron, and they're also full of zinc. And this is excellent for men's prostate health and also for our brain. So that's why pine nuts are great. And I have people say to me, "But pine nuts are expensive." Well, you're worth it, and you don't need to put a lot of them in there. Okay, there you go. All right. And so this becomes a great salad. So say that you have this salad and then you have a cup of beans. Or say that you have the soup and then you have this salad after you eat the soup. This is a perfectly well-balanced meal. So many people say, "Well, I'm not going to get enough protein." The fact of the matter is that most people are over-proteinated anyway. And there's protein in everything from the plant kingdom, but there's no cholesterol. So that's what makes this so fabulous. All right. So I'm going to test it. I'm going to taste it before we give it to everybody. And I'm going to show you a chef's trick for being able to taste stuff. Okay? Put it on you put it on the back of your hand, okay? And then you can pop it in your mouth because the back of your hand is clean. So when you're at home, this is a good way to test. Okay. This is excellent. I will allow it to be served. Okay?
Lisa, various times I've heard apple seeds are good for you, and then I've heard they're bad.
If you're having an organic apple seeds are full of pectin. Pectin is a good thing for you. Back in Pennsylvania, we would call the apple nature's toothbrush. So I love eating apples, and when I make my smoothies, if I'm using an organic apple, I definitely put the seeds in. As a matter of fact, Victoria Bachenko recommends that you always use the seeds. And she's the mother of raw foods and green smoothies. Another question?
Where can we find your Iron Chef episode? Like on demand, or
Well,
was it aired on TV?
no, it wasn't aired on TV. They had a problem with the videotaping, but you can find references to it online.
Okay.
You can find references to it. Mm-hmm. Yes?
What kind of processor do you recommend? What do you use?
I use a Vitamix. I also have a Blendtec. I like the Vitamix more, but it's just different. Depends.
Do you recommend drinking the Elixir before running or working out, or?
I like to have a smoothie after working out. First thing when you get up in the morning, because you've been sleeping, your body has been going through the detoxification process, and this just kicks it up a notch. And so when I wake up in the morning, that's when I like to have the Elixir, and then 30 minutes later to go ahead and have some food.
What
about with the working out part?
I've had it before I've gone and exercised. And then I had the smoothie as a recovery drink. I wouldn't recommend this so much as a recovery drink. It's more of a detox drink. So. Mm-hmm.
How much olive oil do you recommend a day? How many teaspoons of tablespoons?
He's asking how much olive oil I recommend a day. I recommend that you get your fat from healthier sources such as nuts and seeds and avocado. If you do use some oil, use it minimally. Use extra virgin cold pressed. Avoid at all costs canola oil. Yes. Okay?
Minimally of olive oil.
Maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons. Okay? I'll take one more question. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yes, and also the pith in the red bell pepper, the white part in the red bell pepper is full of minerals too. So you can eat the pith part, but it is bitter, and a lot of people don't like to eat it. So the pith, if you can handle it, is very good for you, full of fiber. So I wanted to also give away a few more things. I want to celebrate, because this talk was about longevity, I want to celebrate the person with the most longevity here in the room. So who's the oldest years of being? Who has the most years of being here in the room? 75? 76? 81? Does anybody trump 81? Anybody? They're not telling. That's like, okay. So we'll give you a chocolate. Would you like that? I would. Okay. And how many years have you been eating plant-based? About 10 years. And do you feel good eating plant-based? All right. And so here's somebody who's 81, has been plant-based for 10 years, who isn't walking with a cane, who still has her wits about her. Also, my friend Liz, she's been plant-based for a very long time, and she plays tennis, she skis, she's got a young boyfriend. I mean, all these wonderful, all these wonderful things. So that's great.
He's my travel buddy.
He's your travel buddy. I'm sorry. He's your travel buddy. Her young travel buddy. She says her young travel buddy with benefits. So we should all feel so blessed to have that. Also, sometimes you can't have a green smoothie, you can't have a green soup, but there are some really wonderful green powders on the market. And Health Force Nutritional is a wonderful company. They make wonderful green powder supplements. And so I have a green powder here, and I'm just trying to figure out who to give this one to. No, I need a criterion. I need a criterion. Is there anybody here that can honestly say that they are an athlete, that they run all the time, that they do a lot of exercising? And he was the first one to sit down in the room, so you get this too. All right. Thank you. Okay. And I do have something for the youngest person. So who has the least years of being? The youngest person here.
11.
There's 11? Is there anybody younger than 11? Who's the next person over age 11? 16? Okay. So let's give them a hand for being here at a vegan conference. Okay? So you guys, you can decide, since you're the youngest. This is a raw vegan snack bar. It's made from seeds and fruit, and this is raw almond butter, which is a great source of protein. I don't know which one you want. Sure. Okay. All right. Great. And I don't know. I got what's the last thing we could? Okay. The last thing is, who liked the crackers that I've made? You all like those crackers? Like I said, the recipe's in my book, only $10. Who has been vegan the longest in this room? Who's been vegan the longest?
30 years.
30 years? Any? Yeah? What? Your entire life? Okay. Come on. Here, she can have this. So she gets these crackers. Oh, no. They want to know how old you are. Older than 31, okay. Thank you. So I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you. And on my recipe sheet, I listed my Facebook page, Chef Lisa Veg. I'd appreciate a like. Also, I'm going to be at the Health and Wellness Festival, Health and Fitness Festival in Oakland. Here's the information about that. That's going to be next Saturday. You can enter a code and get $5 off. It's going to be a great event. I also run a vegan supper club, and the next one's going to be in Menlo Park. If you all sign my list, I'll send you that information. We're also going to have live music. So you get a gourmet vegan meal and live music. And do we have my list? Yes. And make sure I get my list. Okay? And thank you all so much. God bless you. Thank you. Thanks. Okay.
That was great.
Oh, thank you. What's that?
I'm kind of converting to
Oh.